Hi, I'm Angie, and I've led the risk team here at Wave for the last 6 years. In this time, I've had the privilege of supporting our customers, service-based business owners in North America, and I've seen firsthand how resilient this community is. Wave plays a key role in the lives of small business owners through our accounting, invoicing, payments, payroll, and banking products. Our job on risk is to keep our platform safe from financial loss so that we can successfully and securely serve as many small businesses as possible. Our duty is to protect our customers by monitoring for things like scams and fraudulent activity and to educate them on best practices for operating their business. The effects of the pandemic made it clear that our customers needed us now more than ever. The economic effects of the pandemic disproportionately hurt small business owners, and we felt a deep responsibility to help. The entire risk landscape worsened as borders closed, personal protective equipment or PPE scams ran rampant, and events across the globe were canceled. Our competitors were in the news for offsetting their own risk by holding things like high fund reserves, but we knew that was going to cripple our customers' ability to run their business. Many regulatory bodies stepped in to impose things like more strict compliance requirements, and this made it even more difficult for our customers to run their business. These were uncharted waters, but we knew we were uniquely positioned to guide our customers to safety, enabling them to keep their lights on, and in some instances, even to thrive. It's for these reasons that I'm incredibly proud to share with you our initiative to protect and serve the small business community in the crisis strategy and management category.
Hi, this is Amandeep Kaur. I'm with Wave in a chargeback and disputes team for over a year now.
This initiative is rooted in helping small business owners navigate the increasing complexities of running a business through the pandemic. The risk landscape has changed in many ways. First, because of global lockdowns and shortages, many entrepreneurs had to pivot their entire business model. This also caused an increase in chargebacks, frauds, and scams across the globe. Next, consumers everywhere saw their income and cash flow impacted, which increased payment disputes, and also called as friendly fraud, where a cardholder disputed the payment unfairly. Additionally, the card networks and US regulatory bodies like Food and Drug Administration and Federal Trade Commission imposed increasingly more strict compliance requirements to protect consumers, which threatened merchants' livelihood if they didn't know how to understand the constant changes. There was no playbook for this new world that even we were struggling to navigate, and we knew we had to take responsibility to help our customers. The first thing we did was initially waive our ACH payment processing fees. While this sacrificed our own revenue, it was a small act that put more cash in the hands of our customers who desperately needed it and allowed them to operate digitally while in-person sales may have dropped. So the biggest part of this initiative, however, was the account management program we implemented to provide one-on-one support to our customers who were most impacted by the changing risk landscape. We leveraged data to identify the risky users, to proactively set up calls with them to understand how they operate and provide consultation on what they could do to protect their businesses. We ensured that they understood the risk they were facing and took a very hands-on approach to guide them through the process. Example, many of our customers pivoted from general-based businesses to sourcing PPE kits from international suppliers to provide to hospitals and schools in the US. Borders were closing, there were supply chain issues, PPE scams were rampant, shipping were delayed globally, and the requirements of which type of mask was most effectively kept changing. For these customers, we advised on best shipping practices, how to craft their terms and conditions to protect them in the event of shipping delays, how to keep their clients informed to avoid future payment disputes. Essentially, we provided the guidance needed for them to maintain the right documentation to avoid chargeback, or at least be set up successfully to reverse them if they occur.
Hi, I'm Lihia. I'm part of the Wave Advisor team, and I have been working in Wave for the last year and a half. This initiative was only possible because we were able to work hand in hand with our customers' internal teams and external banking partners. The risk team led the charge, but held regular external meetings with our bank partners and internal meetings with the dispute and customer experience teams to build our plan of attack. Our bank partners provided frequent updates to us on the new guidelines they were receiving from the FDA and FTC regulatory bodies. We will take this information back to the internal teams, where we reviewed our most impacted users and anything else that threatened our customers and platform. Together, we brainstormed ways to efficiently manage these more cumbersome processes while still being able to provide the level of support that we knew our users needed. We automated and deprioritized several team tasks in order to create the capacity needed to provide one-on-one support to educate our users on the new best practices required to protect their business from the effect of the pandemic. This initiative was only possible because we were able to work hand in hand with our customers, internal teams, and external banking partners. The risk team led the charge, but held regular external meetings with our bank partners and internal meetings with the dispute teams and customer experience teams to build our plan of attack. Our bank partners provided frequent updates to us on the new guidelines they were receiving from the FDA and FTC regulatory bodies. We will take this information back to the internal teams where we reviewed our most impacted users and anything else that threatened our customers and platform. Together, we brainstormed ways to efficiently manage these more cumbersome processes while still being able to provide the level of customer support that we knew our users needed. We automated and deprioritized several team tasks in order to create the capacity needed to provide one-on-one support to educate our users on the new best practices required to protect their business from the effects of the pandemic.
Hello, this is Mina. I'm a senior chargeback specialist, being here at Wave for over a year now. We identified our most impacted customers and set up a call with them to understand their business models, how they sourced and shipped their products, and vetted their clients. This allowed us to coach them on having a stronger contracts and terms and conditions so that if they received a chargeback, they had a better chance of winning. We also educated them on the new common scams which were exploiting PPE shortages so that they felt confident verifying the identities and intentions of their clients. We also provided guidance on optimizing their website for all new regulatory requirements, like ensuring they have the appropriate disclaimers and policies present, so that the card networks and US regulatory bodies would not force us to shut them down. Sometimes, however, the risk of a customer was deemed too high even with those optimizations, and we had to hold a reserve of their funds to offset this risk. When a reserve was necessary, we applied it at the transaction level to the risky payment in question and would release the funds once the cardholder confirmed services were provided. This is unlike our competitors who were holding up to 30% of their clients' monthly sales volumes. This allowed us to hold less funds for a significantly shorter period of time than our competitors, and basically putting more money back in our customers' pockets. Looking back, we called hundreds of customers and worked with them very closely to keep the lights on, despite intense regulatory scrutiny, rising scams, and chargeback risks.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I'm part of the Wave Advisor team. You might wonder, what were the results? What did we achieve with this initiative? Well, it's important to remember that there were an increase in chargeback of roughly between 25% to 40% in the industry. While many other companies were laying off employees, Wave decided to actually take a completely different approach. I would like to remind you that we actually increased the number of members and teammates in a risk department by 29%. Doing so allowed the risk team to actually review an average of 2,500 customers and contact more than 400 customers on a one-on-one basis. So you can imagine the workload that was associated with actually going through each individual client and make sure that their risk application were actually approved and correctly managed. We evaluated our effectiveness using the false positive rate, which actually measure how often we are negatively impacting good customer versus catching fraudsters. This was an average of 10%, which means that only 10% of the clients that we contacted, they were actually good clients or healthy clients that were contacted by the risk department. On the other hand, that means that 90% of those customers were actually using the software in a way that it was not correct or approved. We work closely with the remaining 10% of those clients, and we reach out to them on a one-on-one basis, making sure that we were able to help them. Despite the significant increase in chargebacks experienced across the industry, if you remember a little early, I mentioned it was between 20 to 40%, Wave was actually able, with his own hands-on approach, to keep that chargeback rate increasingly low. By the peak of the pandemic, despite the higher average number of payments that we were processing, which is 23%, we actually only increased 0.01% on chargebacks claim. So as you can imagine, we are increasing 23% on number of payments that we're processing, but we're actually just increasing 0.01% on number of chargebacks. And that was because of the risk team reaching out proactively to each client. So that's a very big achievement. This one was not just during the pandemic. However, we would like to emphasize that also after the pandemic, we are keeping up with this program, and which is actually really helping the company and the clients as well. I would like to mention an example of a recreational vehicle company located in California. As you can imagine, during the pandemic, a lot of people changed their traveling habit. One of those traveling methods that was affected was actually flying. With a lot of more population or user turning into local holidays, this recreational vehicle company located in California actually saw an increase in demand by 146% during COVID. That is a lot of new clients they need to manage. Of course, associated with that, unfortunately, there was also chargebacks for a good number of reasons. However, our risk department was able to actually reach out to this RV company, and with the help on a one-on-one basis, they reduced the chargeback by a staggering 88%. So you can imagine, again, we are sales going up 146% from one side, and chargeback claims actually going down 88%. This one would have not been possible without the help of the risk team and the one-on-one proactive approach.